Hey guys, Catherine here with Sacred Cycles. For this video, we're going to be doing a book review on The Way of the Shaman. This one's by Micheal Harner. It is copyrighted, just so you guys know how old this book is. It was copyrighted in 1980 and 1990 as well. At the time, the book was $12 here in the United States, and in Canada it's $16.75. It was classified under New Age and psychology, so there's a lot of psychology in play when it comes to shamanism. Now, when I first read this book, I read this exact edition. I found a PDF online, and I'm like, I want to make sure it's a book I really want to buy before I buy it and reread it, and then it not be something I want. So I found the PDF version of this particular copy, and I read it, and I really liked it. Really liked it. I'm like, this is good stuff. I had it read in a night. It took me about 2 hours to read this book. I just couldn't put it down. And then I found, and I looked around, and I'm like, well, they got an updated version, but I want the copy that I read. So I just kept on the lookout for it. One day I went to Goodwill, a local Goodwill here, and I actually found this copy, the exact same copyright date and everything that I read before, for $1. So that's how I got this book. So I reread it because I'm like, do I still feel the same way about it now that I've kind of grown and developed, did a little more research into shamanism than just this book? And yes, I still think this is an invaluable resource for anybody who wants to learn shamanism or get their foot wet. Alright, there's probably better books out there. I only practice a little bit of shamanic techniques within my practice, so a basic introduction is all I really needed in order to kind of get some tools in my arsenal that I can utilize. But I definitely would like to expand more and do a little bit more research into shamanism after, I get all the other billion things that I'm studying done. Alright, so I'm just going to go real quickly, just read you through the table of contents, and then we're going to talk about my pros, my cons to this book. Alright, so let's start. We're going to just do the chapters. There's 7 chapters in here. Chapter 1, Discovering the Way. Chapter 2, The Shamanic Journey and Introduction. Chapter 3, Shamanism and States of Consciousness. Chapter 4, Power Animals. Chapter 5, The Journey to Restore Power. Chapter 6, Power Practice. Chapter 7, Extracting Harmful Intrusions. So, and then after that you get an afterword, Appendix A, Appendix B, notes, preface references, bibliography, and an index. And at the beginning you get acknowledgments, the preface to the 3rd edition, and the introduction to the book itself. So, nothing too special about those. But what I really like about this book, I always like to start with what I like, and then go into the few things that I don't like, because I don't really find a hellaciously lot that I don't like about a book, unless it's like certain authors. Okay? So what I really like is, this book gives you a lot of information, and it's only about this thick. Okay, guys? So that's a pro to me. I mean, no matter, even though the book isn't really that big, you get a lot of information in here. Alright? Another thing that I like, me particular being a visual learner, is it does have pictures to go with the reading when it's teaching you techniques. So that to me is a pro, because sometimes reading on a technique and not having a visual makes it harder or more complicated for me to understand and be able to perform myself. So it helps. Now the next thing I really do like about this is not overly complicated. The author wrote in a very simplistic way to help you understand as best as they could. Shamanism is, in my opinion, a very complex system to learn, because there's just so much information, and so much of it is oral, that not a lot put in books. Alright? I would say this, and what I really do like is in here, I believe he says to always find yourself a teacher when you're learning, just so that way you have the supervision while performing some of the techniques in this book. Alright, so I do like that. He gives that option. He gives his opinion. He doesn't tell you that you must, but I do like that, okay? Some of the things I don't like about this book, and it's, like I said, mainly just a few things, and most of them are arbitrary, like cosmetic, alright? I'm not a big fan of this cover. This cover is too bland, and it's just a big square picture to fill in the gaps. Not a big fan of the cover. Like I said, it's arbitrary, okay? And then I do like, another thing I don't like is there is not enough pictures in this book. There are pictures for the important stuff, which is good, but 90% of it is all just reading. It's just this bland page with text. Okay, now the updated version, I don't know. It could have more, it could have less. I don't know. I haven't read the updated version. Those are just some of the arbitrary things. Other than there are a couple of things that I actually questioned that I had to look up in order to make sure that it wasn't something made up or something just particularly related to this particular author. So, yeah. So those are just the few cons. All in all, would I recommend this book? Yes. If I was a shaman and someone asked me for recommendations, yes, I'd recommend this book. But as with anything, like I tell everybody, read everything with a grain of salt. Take what rings to you, true to you, and leave the rest for somebody else. Alright? So on a scale of 1 to 10, where would I put this book? I would put this book at... I'd put this book at a solid 7 on that scale. The reason why has nothing to do with the cosmetics. It just has to do with the fact I cannot give it a perfect 10 because I have not read any other books on the subject in order to objectively give it a perfect 10. So what I do, what I decided is a 7 because this is the only book I've read. I cannot give it a perfect 10. Okay? On a personal scale, I would because I really like the book. Alright? But on an objective scale, I'd give it a 7. So that's all I've got for this book review, guys. I'll post a link so you guys can look it up on Amazon in the description. And until next time, guys, my name is Catherine with Sacred Cycles, and peace out and namaste.